There comes a moment when noise stops being the problem. Distraction isn't the enemy anymore. Motivation isn't missing. Time isn't the issue. The problem is that you haven't locked in. You're present, but not committed. Busy, but not focused. Trying, but still divided. Locking in is not about doing more. It's about removing everything that doesn't matter and staying with what does. Locking in is a decision, not a mood. You don't lock in because you feel inspired. You lock in because you decide that distraction is no longer acceptable. Motivation asks how you feel. Locking in ignores the question entirely. It's the moment you stop negotiating with yourself. No more, I'll start later. I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll try tomorrow. Locking in happens when excuses lose their voice. Your mind is always somewhere else until you force it back. Most of the time, your attention is scattered. Part of you is in the past, part of you is imagining the future, part of you is reacting to noise. That's why your effort feels weak. Power comes from concentration. When your mind stops drifting, your energy stops leaking. Locking in means you pull your attention back again and again until it stays. Not aggressively, not emotionally, firmly. Locking in feels uncomfortable at first. Here's something you need to understand. When you lock in, your brain resists. It wants escape. It wants stimulation. It wants relief. That discomfort you feel when you try to focus, that's not a sign you're doing something wrong. That's the transition. You're moving from noise to control. Most people quit at this point. You don't need to. You lock in by narrowing your world. When you lock in, your world gets smaller, not permanently, but intentionally. You stop thinking about everything you could do. You focus on what you must do. One task, one direction, one standard. Locking in isn't about ambition, it's about precision. You choose one thing and give it your full presence. That's rare. That's powerful. Locking in means accepting boredom. This is where most people fail. They think focus should feel exciting. It doesn't. Focus feels quiet, repetitive, sometimes dull. But boredom is not the enemy of progress. Avoiding boredom is. When you can stay present without stimulation, you gain an advantage most people never develop. That's when work becomes deep. That's when results compound. You don't lock in forever. You lock in for a window. Locking in is not burnout. You don't need endless hours. You need undivided minutes. 30 minutes of locked-in focus beats 3 hours distracted. You protect a window of time. You eliminate interruption. You stay. When the window ends, you step away. This keeps focus sharp, not forced. Locking in requires removing, not adding. You don't need better tools. You don't need more information. You need fewer inputs, fewer notifications, fewer unnecessary decisions. Every unnecessary choice drains focus. When your environment is clean, your mind follows. The hardest part of locking in is starting. Starting feels heavy because resistance is loud before momentum exists. Once you begin, resistance weakens. Your job is not to feel ready. Your job is to begin anyway. Locking in starts with action, not clarity. Clarity comes after movement. Locking in changes your identity. When you lock in consistently, something shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who executes. That identity is powerful, because once something becomes who you are, it no longer requires motivation. You act because it's normal for you to act. You don't need intensity, you need consistency. Locking in is not dramatic. No rush, no adrenaline, just repeated presence. Day after day, you show up the same way. That's how strength becomes quiet. That's how confidence becomes stable. Noise will always try to pull you back. Distraction doesn't disappear, it waits. The moment you relax your standards, it returns. That's why locking in is not a one-time event. It's a habit of returning your attention again and again, without anger, without frustration, just control. Locking in is a form of self-respect. When you lock in, you're telling yourself something important. My time matters, my focus matters, my effort matters. That respect changes how you move. You stop wasting energy. You stop chasing validation. You stop drifting. Most people never experience true focus, not because they can't, but because they avoid stillness. They escape the moment focus gets uncomfortable. If you stay just a little longer, you pass a threshold. On the other side of that threshold is clarity. Locking in is where progress actually happens. Not when you're planning, not when you're consuming, not when you're inspired. Progress happens when you're alone with the work and you don't leave. That's it, no secret. Final thought. Locking in is not forcing yourself. It's choosing depth over distraction. You don't need to do everything. You need to do one thing fully. When you lock in, noise fades, time slows, and effort finally starts to count. That's where control lives. That's where strength grows. That's where you belong.